Arr. What be happening, everybody? I gotta tell you, not sure what's gonna be like this. Oh, it is me, the pirate captain, without all the pageantry as we normally do. It is just me running the show today. So I was like, well, it's just me. Why don't we live stream it? So I appreciate everybody that's going to come by and hang out today. Got a pretty decent little show planned for you. Unfortunately, like I said, it's just me, Bolg, and Logue. They are out feeling sick. A little too late at the table last night. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But now it is me hanging out with you. And we're going to be talking about quite a bit. We have obviously the big pre-order news that came out from Wizards of the Coast. That's actually insane. Kind of got some thoughts and takes on that. We're going to be talking about Dungeon Craft. If you haven't heard the news about him, you're going to find out about it now. And just a couple more things that I thought was kind of relevant into the world of D&D. Remember, we are D&D bi-weekly, or bi-monthly, not bi-weekly. Couldn't imagine doing this show twice a week for an hour at a time. Bi-monthly podcast, YouTube videos. You can catch all our old content right here on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. For just a couple of goobers hanging out sometimes and just talking D&D. That's what it is. But let's get to it. Let's start off with the Dungeon Craft. I've been watching his videos for a hot minute, and when I say like I've enjoyed everything he's put out. I've watched quite a bit of his stuff. This is the show's YouTube channel. That's why it doesn't show that some of this stuff has been watched. But the big news right now with him is he's come out and he's actually announced that he has cancer, prostate cancer. And hopefully they found it enough time. I believe he said he was going through a remission. And so I just wish him the best, man. A lot of opinions and stuff that I have are actually, mirrors of what he has to say, because he believes in an old school version of the game that's a lot of fun. And it's challenging. And if you've been paying attention to us, you watch every one of our videos, you know that I like the idea of being challenged. And it's kind of crazy, man, that he's going through this. So I hope that this challenge isn't too much for him to overcome. I know his family pushed him into saying something about getting your prostates checked. And I was like, all right, man. It takes a big man to say, hey, man, I'm going to go get somebody to stick a couple fingers at my palm. But I just want to go ahead and get that one out there, man. Wish you all the best. I hope you're going to continue making great content. He has said that his content's going to slow down just a bit because he doesn't want to, because it takes a lot. Radiation therapy takes a lot. So I hope that isn't going to mess with him too much. Let's get into the real news for today, the headline topic, and that is Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast is actually going to be doing a pre-order bonus. Now, this is clearly just a money grab and stuff like that. Like, when I think of a pre-order, here's what I think of a pre-order. Pre-order is like pre-ordering a video game. If I'm going to pre-order a video game, it's because I know it's going to be a hot ticket item. And I honestly haven't even pre-ordered a game, and I can't think of the last time GameStop actually had a really good pre-order bonus. There used to be like nice things that you got. Even when I worked at GameStop, the pre-order bonuses kind of sucked. Here, you get this little vinyl pin. Isn't it really cool? It's like, I don't even like that guy. Why don't you have something of better characters? Or, early access used to be a thing, but it's not anymore. Like, you can just wait. Blizzard's done that with World of Warcraft. They're giving players like early access, so you can get like 6 days ahead of time. I was like, no, I really don't need that. And the pre-order bonuses that are going to be coming for Wizards and their stuff isn't that great. We're going to get into those, but I just want to talk about why do they feel they need a pre-order? Why would you as a player want to pre-order something like this so you can get it like a few days early? I don't even think it's like, I don't think they're getting early access, if I remember right. I got the chart. Where is it? Yeah, you're not even getting it like early. You get exclusive digital bonuses. That's the big thing. But it's getting really kind of weird. Like, they're really trying to push this. I've already seen a few articles from different media groups that are like, this is pre-order bonus is amazing. You're going to love it. It's like, really? Are we really going to love it? Like, you're just telling me this. And I don't want... Right now, it's been very hard to give Wizards the benefit of the doubt on anything, because they've not really done anything for us. And when it comes to just all in all, like trying to do the right thing or trying to feel good about something, you end up seeing that they let you down every twist and turn. Like obviously the art was horrible. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. There's other things that they've just done that I'm just like, bro, you're not giving me any reason to trust you. And when you have a bunch of these outlets coming out being like, yeah, these pre-order bonuses are great, you're like, okay, what's going on with this? Like, it's okay to be skeptical and be like, all right, I'm not sure. If you're a digital player, like you're into the Roll20, and I got a story we're going to talk about them as well. If you're a digital player and you love the digital atmosphere, I'm all about it. I think this is going to be right up your alley, but I don't know if pre-ordering's honestly going to be worth it. But there's this real push now to get them, and it's feeling real Microsofty. Like it really is. It's like Microsoft, Ubisoft, and all these other different. I just realized that all the companies that do these pre-orders have soft in them. But all these ones that are trying to get you to apply it, it's like they're trying to guarantee you money. I think, if you ask me, just old pirate captain's wisdom right here, it's like they're trying to show that there's actually interest in this version. These videos that we've commented on and we've talked about where we've gotten this different information is they've been ratioed. Nobody's liked what they've been putting out, whether it's the art, whether it's the systems, whether it's the classes. A lot of people haven't been liking them. A lot of the top YouTubers that talk about Dungeons and Dragons, nah, bro, we're just not that excited about it. There are some good parts to it. Actually, they took out the one good part that I was excited about, which was the Pugilist Fighter, and they wanted, well, we're going to go with the Psi Warrior. Good job. Good job. Everybody wanted the Bare Knuckle Brawler. Tired of psionics. But they took out that stuff. And we're not seeing any reason to like have faith in Wizards of the Coast right now. So all this love and things, all these love and admiration that D&D once had, even just like 5-6 years ago, has definitely dropped off a cliff, and people are finding it harder and harder to get excited about it. So this, I think, is a way to say, hey, look, we got people that are super excited about it. You know, keep funding us money, keep paying us, don't fire any more people, and hopefully it works out and they don't have to fire anybody. I still think that maybe you should, if you keep putting out crap content, but that's just me. I made the video about there. It's my most unliked video here on the channel, and I still stand behind what I say. I mean, in all reality, yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit here and let you tell me, oh, well, we really need like 6 or 7 different art directors. Not with what I've seen, trust me. You probably need to fire those art directors, but that's just on me. You can go watch the video. It's down in our previous section. But these digital bonuses is I think the big draw, and they're trying to show interest in it. If we can, they've been trying to push the D&D Beyond for years. This is part of all these different scandals that have gone on, and they're really trying to get away from using the books and stuff like that, because they can't charge you all the time for the books. You think about Microsoft and what they try to do already. How many of y'all actually have Microsoft Office? You own it. You're not paying a subscription. I got to tell you, one of the most annoying things about a lot of these services right now, like Adobe for Positive, and we can talk about how Adobe kind of like screwed the pooch on their stuff, but I don't like paying for subscription. I like to own my things. That way I don't have to keep paying for it. I've already paid for the product 12 times over, and they're like, oh, well, you're paying for like the updates and stuff like that. You need these updates. I haven't been able to use Premiere 2024 because it sucks. I have to use Premiere 2023 because it works. And I feel like if we go into this D&D Beyond mindset, into this atmosphere of doing this, you're going to be like, well, you paid for it now. You might as well just keep paying for it so we can keep giving you the product. It's this live service stuff, because they're trying. You ask me, it goes again. It's like they're trying to actually pull into like this World of Warcraft style money of like, well, people pay for World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's giving you constant updates, trying to get more World of Warcrafty on you. But that's the idea. And this D&D Beyond stuff that they're trying to get you to pre-order into, I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. And let's take a look at it. Like, I got it right here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can't. You're going to get, this is it. Pre-order 2024 digital and physical core rulebook bundle and save $60. And it's true. You save, if you order everything, it's $179. It's like it's $240 roughly, I think, without that $60. Grab them today. Get the interactive digital version, a beautiful hardcover. Honestly, like this, I like this cover, and these two are kind of meh. This one looks like it's like the top cover for the player's handbook actually looks like it's something fun. You got a whole party actually doing stuff. There's a dragon in the background. I half expected it to be our dwarves baking stuff or our Mexican orcs, hombres. You can get the complete core rulebook and collection. Discover new character options you'll love, creating a world-building inspiration and stunning artwork and monsters galore. That's not a whole lot of content, like to tell me that why I should order like this right here. Stunning artwork and monsters galore. Okay, but I'm not buying a D&D book for the art. Like, I have art books. Like, I legitimately have art books in my little mini library. My girl, she's got this massive library with 1,001 books. I've just got my books over there. That's kind of what I do. And I have art books. I enjoy those. I have a Final Fantasy 12, one of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time. I have the art book for that because I enjoy the art out of it, the snots. But that's not a whole reason to pre-order it. But if you pre-order it, you're going to get digital. Even if you don't buy, and I haven't looked too deep into this, I'm pretty sure if you don't pre-order the digital, you still get these digital assets. But the 2024 core rulebooks are fully interactive on D&D Beyond, providing maps, monsters for maps. Okay. New classes and some classes, monsters for maps. And then that phrasing right there, providing maps and monsters for maps, makes me wonder if, like, when you order all of this, if there's going to be a part where you can't actually put certain monsters on certain maps because you didn't buy that, package. So that's kind of wondering. New classes and subclasses for the character builder, easy navigation through compendium. So if you don't buy it, you have to click one page. You don't get to access Control F. And pre-order today and get early access to the new book weeks before it hits stores with master tier. Okay, so you do get it ahead of time, which I like. If only one person in your group, let's say you are playing on D&D Beyond, like, here's going to be the big thing. You and your group, you're playing on D&D Beyond, but only you as the DM, or maybe you as one player, pre-ordered this, and the other guy's like, hey, look, times are tough, or I just don't feel like buying it. Whatever the reason is, you're going to find that it gets into that realm of, well, I have all this new stuff, and I want to play it, but nobody else wants to. And so I think this is where this idea is going to fall flat. Like, you're just not going to see that correlation. They've already started walking back how easy this stuff is to, like, cross thread. Like, things are it's easier to cross thread is what I'm actually trying to say. And when you cross thread something like on a screw or something, but it's not, these things are going to get nightmarish. That's what it is. Pre-order today and get early access to each new book weeks before it hits the stores with a master tier subscription. So you have to actually get a subscription too. I think that's what that is. If I'm just reading this as it is, I'm saying that you have to get this with a master tier subscription. And that's rather annoying. If I'm going to have to buy your books and get a subscription, oh man, that is peak Microsoft right there. Pre-order the 2024 digital and physical core rulebooks bundle to receive these exclusive D&D collectibles. You get the digital art book. That's great. No, it's not. D&D Beyond Gold digital dice set requires a D&D Beyond account. 50th anniversary digital gold dragon mini releasing with the closed beta and the upcoming 3D virtual tabletop. So you get beta access. So it's exactly like World of Warcraft. That's 100% what that is. It's you're getting early access to something, like, you're going to go beta test. You know what beta testers are good for? Telling me what's wrong. Essentially, beta testers are and I have no issues with beta testers. I've been a beta tester. I've beta tested WoW a couple times. And all you're doing is finding all the problems and getting more annoyed with it. Like there's nothing really fun about being. It's like an extra job. Like it can be fun. Like if you enjoy it, like by all means, go pre-order for all I care. But I mean, you're just doing an extra job. And the fact that you have to have a D&D Beyond account just shows that they really are. They're trying to push and get this stuff like fine-tuned into the left and get you, or left or right, I don't give, but they're trying to fine-tune it and get it into where they want it to be, where all of this stuff is just like on this D&D Beyond, and people are trying to get away from it. Like I've talked to players over at my local game shop down in Ohio, and they're like, we're happy to play physical. There's actually a group that plays once a month here in our at the library in where I'm living at right now, that they play once a month, and then I got one that plays every Tuesdays. And I was talking to the DMs about it because I was like, hey, how's this going for you guys? What's the interest and what is it? And they're excited just to play regular D&D. They enjoy the 5e right now because they're able to pull in these new players, and it's like, hey, there's not a whole lot of complications to these things, as much as like I would like to see some harder stuff into the game, but this is where it's at. And some of them are actually kind of worried that if they introduce this new system, because some players have, they've started gaining interest, they've enjoyed the game, they're like, well, we did some research, we see this new stuff coming out, and they're kind of like, well, yeah, but it's going to kind of depend upon what everybody's got, and like, we're not going to make everybody play this new stuff. And if you subscribe to it, you're going to get it days ahead of time, so now you're going to be able to look at it and all that. I just don't know where their idea behind this. If you ask me, it's really to show, hey, we have a lot of interest in this game. Like we have people that are that really want to pre-order this. They want it, and there's going to be quite a bit. I mean, like I'm not going to lie, there are those D&D guys out there that they will buy whatever Wizards is selling them, and we've talked about it. Like I'm probably going to buy the core rulebook. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale 100%. Like, I've been trying to find a new group where I'm at. I like to play Pathfinder is really what I want to play. I want to play something kind of challenging. Like, 5e wouldn't be bad, but I honestly would like to find a Pathfinder group. But you have these, players that are going to buy everything, and it'll spike. You'll see some interest right there in it, and they're gonna want to come out and play this. And this has been our argument since the start that, hey, look, we just really just not that interested in buying it. So I don't know. Cash grab probably, but I gotta find it. I think did I pull the article? Nope. I got it. I know where it's at though. It's right here. All right, let's get back to the screen share. Poop, poop. Right here up at top. Dungeons & Dragons 2024 player book comes with awesome pre-order bonuses. Alrighty. One thing I hate about Game Rant is sometimes that they bury the lead. Popular table of 5th edition is, yep, we already know this. Set of core rulebooks will provide the revamp. Know this already. Per the D&D Beyond store description there. The handbook available for sale. Players who pre-order the digital edition will receive a handful of extras, including 10 frames and 5. Okay, so that wasn't actually mentioned on their website, so this is actually pretty good. Notice I had to go three paragraphs down. Along with those extras, pre-order customers will also receive 12 digital dice sets, themed after the 12 remaining official classes in the game: the Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. Sorry, Artificer, you're out. They may not be physical dice, but they have dice modeled after each class and a strong incentive to pre-order the book. Unfortunately, there won't be a dice set for Artificers. Yeah, well, duh, you said 12 class. Like, you quit trying to fill out your word space. That's all this is. The newest version of the player's handbook will include total 48. Okay, so this is it. All right, I want to go on Game Rant. All this awesome pre-order bonus. This is it. And it's not to call out Game Rant, but they need to be called out on this. This is BS. All of y'all. Y'all know what y'all did. I do appreciate that y'all were talking about the extra, because I didn't see that in the pre-order thing right here. But that's it, man. Like, if you're getting these, like, dice, like, nothing... What about the physical one? why not have those dice sets? Like when you pre-order, let's give them. Let's say you want to pre-order this, and I'm all about it. If that's what you want to do, how you want to spend your money, I don't care. But let's say you want to pre-order this, and you do a physical copy because maybe that's what you are. Maybe you and your players are physical players. That's okay. Why not give them a chance at, like, maybe you want the wizard dice. Maybe they look cool. I don't know what they look like, and I don't care. But why not give them a physical set of those dice either? You're a toy company. You could make these dice. It's not hard. I got a guy that 3D prints all sorts of stuff. He 3D printed dice. They work too. They're very even. But it's the idea behind it. And like, hey, maybe actually give something to the physical players too, and give them a reason to want to order those. But it's such a drive to get to this D&D Beyond, and they want your content. They want your content. They want to make it theirs. That is the idea behind it. And I don't know, man. Me trying to figure this out and do all this stuff, it's rather annoying. It really is. But hey, I'm not here to tell you what to do with money. I really don't. But spend it to where people spend your money where it matters. Like, if you don't feel like you're getting your bang for your buck, which you're definitely not getting your bang for your buck on this one, absolutely just go spend money where it counts. Like, I don't know where to tell you though. There's plenty of other Kickstarters and stuff like that. I would highly recommend you do that. I want to move on. I'm done with the pre-orders. I do want to talk about another great one. Let's go to this article from Baldur from comicbook.com. These guys, they're talking about how Baldur's Gate 3 inspired Dungeons and Dragons rule change, and I like this because we've talked in the past how we have seen the really good functions and how Baldur's Gate 3 works with certain spells, and even in Baldur's Gate 3 certain things don't work. And I want to give Jeremy Crawford his credit for this one, and this is actually legitimately me giving Jeremy Crawford his credit on this one. He deserves it. He actually has come through and said, hey, look, I was playing the game and I realized that some of the functionality of these spells, it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way you would want it to. And I was like, oh, okay, let's see what he has to say. And here in the article, I watched the video, but he kind of beats around the bush, and it's the same thing with a crafting video. We'll get into that here in a bit too. But it's things like, hey, look, when I placed Cloud of Daggers, it was really annoying that once the Cloud of Daggers was there, it was enemies would just start sidestepping it. Not only in the game, but then I used it. He's like, and I used it in actual playing, and it was the same thing. He's like, man, wouldn't it be nice to use like a bonus action to move this, like a fog cloud or something like that? I was like, okay, all right, I'm hearing you out. And then he's talking about how Produce Flame works. I actually think the way Produce Flame works in Baldur's Gate 3 is pretty good. Produce Flame, throw flame. That's it. And it works out. So he's actually come out and done a pretty good job with that. So we're going to see some updates to these spells, and I'm actually excited to see these come through because it's what the game needed. Like these were the things that needed fixed. Hey, look, because I know players have been talking about this. I've been into a couple of different tables that they actually have rules for some of the spells that don't move. If you play Baldur's Gate 3, you understand that, hey, this has been rather annoying. Like, to me, I know how to use Cloud of Daggers in the game, and it's not to say, well, I'm smarter than you. No, it's just like, I use it to make choke points. And so all the enemy, like, the AI is pretty simple to understand. They're going to run at you, and they're going to take the clearest, most unobstructed route. But if you take, for instance, if you go into the goblin camp and whether you're fighting the goblins or you're coming back later to clear out the camp, which is what I do, as you come across the bridge where you have that cutscene with Shadowheart, you actually can start the fight there. So what I do is I pre-grease the end of the bridge where all the guys are going to run, and I go in and start the fight, run back, have my wizard, or if I have a spell scroll or something like that, and I cast Cloud of Daggers right there. If I have a spell scroll and a wizard, at double do it, and it's really awesome. It does a crap ton of damage. And so as they run in, they end up getting beat up by Cloud of Daggers. They trip and fall from the grease, and it's just sitting there. Now, every now and then you get somebody that kind of like escapes through, or they make these like little far shots of being able to like, they can just range you a little bit, and it gets kind of annoying. But if you could just move it a little bit or kind of like adjust it a little bit, you'd be great. So these are the changes that I'm excited to see. I don't know if Mage Hand's really going to be able to grab a guy like that, but I highly recommend watching that video. It was like actually one of their better videos that they've done recently about spell changes, because I think that's what more people wanted out of this new edition. Not so much new things or these feats and stuff like that. Like, people just wanted more clarification and more updates to the things that we've been saying for years have been broken. The stuff that people go over on Twitter or Reddit and they tweet out Wizards of the Coast and they're like, well, hey, by the way, what about this? And you're like, well, get an answer. And then you have to put a sticky note next to your spell, and your book's filled with sticky notes eventually because you're getting final updates and stuff. Like, that's what we wanted to see. And that's what I wanted to see with this new book. It was not so much as like how many different classes or races or things. I wanted to see, can we get some update? Can we get some clarification to these rules? And now we're starting to see that with some of the spells. And like I said, as much as I like to dog on Jeremy Crawford, because I do, and I understand, it's actually kind of nice to see this all play out. So I'm pretty proud of him for this one. This one, the show's not going to be near as long because it's just me prattling on like a goober. But I have a couple more stories I want to talk about. First off, D&D 20. Like, D&D 20, when it came out, I really thought the system was really good. I had a buddy of mine that actually was building his own game in there, like from the ground up, and it was a really impressive game. He was working on the stats, and then he just deleted it and kicked everybody off the server and left everything gone, and it sucks. But it's been a great spot. It was a huge thing during the COVID pandemic. People were able just to get together and play the game. I know that's how my friends played. I was busy doing G.I. Joe stuff. When I disappear for a couple weeks, that's usually what it is I'm playing G.I. Joe. But right now they're going through of a data breach, and this is huge because there's a lot of players that have their information in there, whether it's credit cards and things like this, because there is a pay to play system in there. You get better assets if you are paying to play the game. So here's the big thing: is D&D Virtual Tabletop Roll20 warns of a breach. It absolutely is. Like, this is where D&D Beyond wants to be, but it's not. Like, Roll20 will forever. Roll20 says it discovered an unauthorized access to an administrative account on June 29th. Apparently, it became aware of the breach at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time and had blocked access to the account an hour later. I'm going to tell you, an hour is forever in the digital warfare area. Like, what somebody can do with an hour's worth of anything, very, very easily proved. A buddy of mine who does like cyber warfare for the Army, he's the hey, look, I'm watching me. He's the guy that does. He told me about this. He's like an hour in this whole realm of the world of cyber warfare. We can get all sorts of stuff. We can get who you are, what websites you visit, where you go, all this, and information is key, and that's what they got. So I'm just being careful. Make sure you check your information with the D&D Virtual 20. And I don't think I actually paid for anything when I actually played the game. So, last topic I want to hit. This comes from Blizzard Watch. There's just another news site and stuff like that. And do you need to buy the 2024 Player's Handbook? And I just want to like argue some of their points that they make, and because some of them are the points that we've made as a crew. There we go. It's so hard to see this. I know. Oh man, I love ads. I love ads. Oh man. Okay. Do I need? This comes from Blizzard Watch. Do I need to buy it? No, and they say it right there. This is actually going to be the feeling of a lot of players, and this is why they need this pre-order stuff. Is they're trying to garner the interest. Do I need to buy it? No, they probably won't be buying it when it comes out. Like most of us are going to be waiting for it to come on like a sale or something like that. Most of their reasoning is different from mine. Life is expensive, and there's a lot of things that take priority over a luxury purchase for me right now. The rule set between 2014 and 2024 are compatible enough that I can soldier on without the rules for a while. So here's the issue with this statement: are compatible enough? They're not. Like everybody's now starting to, like those who have kind of leaked out have said, hey, no, this ain't going to be working out that well. And you're actually even seeing like Jeremy Crawford and his crew kind of like walk it back about how much, how compatible this is. And so I like, if you don't want to get it because of that, like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm all about that. But, I like, if you're going to buy it for compatibility, I don't think that's going to, will I buy it? And the crew likely, yes. The crew said this themselves. Like, we're most likely going to buy it, like, because we cover this game. Like, this is where our channel's all based out of. We want to cover the game and figure out what's going on with it and why it is the way it is. And not being able to explain to somebody, well, you know, the new rule says this and that and that. Well, hold on, let's take a look. And we want to be able to have that point. So we'll actually be buying it. Will I buy the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master Guide? Like I said, I'm probably just going to buy the Player's Handbook. I don't DM very often anymore. I used to DM quite a bit because I was the only guy when I was overseas. And so that's how I ended up DMing a lot. But, I think it's safe to say that 24 is making a lot of good choices. Agree to disagree on that one. I disagree. Makes character creation a lot more exciting for me. Okay. It's for them. It's that one. Moving stat bonuses away from species, from races, and into background will also make backgrounds just a lot more important and interesting. I don't think people use their backgrounds to their maximum effectiveness. Like, there's so many different, and you have different issues, different deals with certain DMs that are actually, you know, how you work with your DM on your backgrounds and stuff like that. Like, one of us was always like a sailor or something like that. And like, heck, the pirate captain being a sailor. So it kind of helped out whenever we had that. There was what was the background? Let's see if I can't pull that up. Let's go to DnD Wiki. DnD Wiki. There's a background that I can remember that you, like, when I rolled through it, because I just picked it off that one. Let's see if I can. Common backgrounds. All right, I'm not gonna. I know it's in the Player's Handbook, but there was one that you were calm in the face of danger. Is like what one of the bonus effects of it, and I was like, well, this is okay. And I used that when I came up with my DM. When I came into this room, and it's like my DM's like, you see bodies hanging from hooks or all these. Roll for just roll for Constitution to keep from throwing up. And I was like, well, hey, look, according to my background from what I rolled, he was there when I did it. And I was like, I'm calm in the serene face of danger. They're like, this is nothing. I've seen danger before. This scares me. Like, this is worrying, yes, but I'm not probably going to throw up. And he goes, okay. So I don't think people are using their backgrounds as much as they could. And I think, I think the new edition's definitely going to be making it a lot easier on you to, like, incorporate your background into your story. But is it going to be the main thing? So I think they're making a point like, hey, the backgrounds are going to be interesting in general. And many of the one changes the new version of the PHB makes. This has all happened before. I want to take this moment to tell you the guys that there are still groups out there playing the original versions of AD&D. And this is true. Like, there's plenty of groups out there. Like, this one's not going to like, if your group's playing 5e, they're probably going to continue playing 5e. If you're a new group, like a new player somewhere, you're most likely, like, a whole new, like, you probably, let's just give it like a 12 or 13-year-old, and you're like, hey, look, I saw this video and they're playing D&D, let's go play it too. And they're probably going to go out and buy the newest one because they're not going to look, and they may not have anybody out there, so they're probably going to be buying a whole new one. This is literally a 0 edition. You can actually go on playing with all the books you already have and never want such new stuff. That's the way you want. Heck, I still want to play 3rd edition. Yeah, see, everybody admits that they play 3 and 3.5. Like, it's just, it always boils down to that. Is this additional game improvement? This is where I'm going to disagree with them. Personally, I'd say yes. Why I don't feel like anyone needs to buy it, because I don't think anyone needs to buy a TTRPG. This is stuff for luxuries, not necessity. Okay. Well, these are the luxury items. You need to buy it? Okay, no. Hey, look, as a consumer, do I need to buy this? Like, no, 2016 is just fine. Like, if money's the deciding factor and you need, that is your thing, then please don't buy it. Don't put yourself in destitute to buy this new game. But if you are going through your budget and you're like, oh look, I have an extra $179 left over for kind of like my fun budget, can I buy this game? Okay, I guess I'll buy it. Oh, that's okay. Like that's okay. But like, this is not the argument that you're trying to make. I definitely think D&D we're getting with the revised 24 is a superior game with more better options if you can afford it. I disagree. Like, I honestly don't even think that D&D 5e is the one with superior options. I think D&D 5e fills the niche of, hey, can I get 5 random people that have never played this game before together to sit down, play this game, and have a good time? Yeah, okay. Well, that's it. That's all I need. But that's not, like, all the issues that have come out with this. Like, we're having more issues with classes. I've seen several videos of people just like eviscerating all the different classes, and how, like the ranger right now, how did they go from fixing the ranger to breaking him again? I was watching, I wasn't DM's Lair, who was it? I was watching somebody, and he was like, all these different Hunter's features revolve around Hunter's Mark. And he's like, and it's great, but it's your bonus action constantly. You're constantly using a bonus action. Like, my argument would be, make it a free action to use your Hunter's Mark. Like, just to use it, kind of help out there, and that's how I would fix that. But he's like, all these issues which would have been found in playtesting, had they done more, probably would have found that out. So, like, I don't think it's a superior version. Like, if I had to put my money between 2014 and 2024, 2014, like, if those are my only two options, 2014 is going to be the superior version. And the idea, because one, for the most part, it's fleshed out and it's fixed within 3 books. If you had to, I always tell people this, if you're going to play D&D, what 3 books do you need? Well, you need Player's Handbook. If you're just a player, let's just go with that. If you're just a player, Player's Handbook, Xanthar's Guide, and Tasha's Cauldron. Xanthar's has a lot of more, like, the more fun sub mini classes, and there's some, like, minor things, some really good extra kind of like spells and cantrips and subclasses, and just like a lot more fun things for like small tables. And then Tasha's kind of fixes all the issues that you've had so far with some of the classes. They come out and they say, hey, by the way, this is the way you should do the ranger, this is the way you should do this, and that's it. Now, if you're a DM, you're going to probably want a DM's guide and a monster manual. Not so much the monster manual. You could honestly get away with the monster manual, not now, because there's not enough. There's many assets online that you can, and the DM's guide actually has monsters in the back that you can play through and use. This whole edition is actually pulling everything from Tasha's, and yeah, I guess you could say that, well, I only have to buy one because they're incorporating stuff into this Tasha's, but then you got to get everybody else to play that, and getting everybody else on the same page. This whole backwards compatibility, everybody's been arguing. It's like, bro, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a cash grab. Just tell us you're buying a new book. Rip the Band-Aid off and let's say, hey, look, we just want you to buy the new book. So I don't see the idea of superiority in 2024. Not to be negative. I get it that I'm always coming here and I'm dogging on this, but I have to look at it and go, well, here's what I see, here's what I know. Putting these two items together kind of adds it to this. So that's my thoughts on that. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on all of this. I know it's a shorter show. Normally we do like a whole hour. It's just me rattling on like a goober. I am the Pirate Captain, titular host of the show, Chef Bolg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything. We do this twice a month. You can figure every other Saturday or Sunday. You can catch us here. We will be trying to get damage rolls back. There's some personal stuff that's gone on with that. I know there have been a few people that actually highly enjoy damage rolls. Unfortunately, it's not in the cards right now to bring that back. You can subscribe to the channel for all this content and stuff like that. We just enjoy sitting here talking about the game. We may try to start live streaming more so we can have some guest interaction with that. We really enjoy all the comments that people leave. I love the debates. Some of y'all have had like 4 or 5 different like whole comment sections, and we really appreciate that. Keep it up. I look forward to catching you in the next one. As always, happy adventures. Yeah.